Welcome to Head Wreck, the show where we discuss the things that wrecked our heads this week, and we also discuss the things that wrecked your heads by you sending them into us at thelads@headwreck.com. I'm your host, John Bird, and I'm here with Alan Ryan. Say hi.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
Alan, where can you find us on the social, seeing as you're the social media whore?
If you want to follow us on Instagram, and I recommend you do, we are on head_wrecked. You can message us on there, or you can email us. But give us a follow on Instagram. We don't share much on it, so we're not going to bombard.
We really don't, because we're not good. We won't bombard.
No,
we'll just let
some
you know
of us are better than others.
Yeah.
But exactly, yeah. And also, don't forget to sign up for notifications wherever you listen to your podcast equally as well, so you never miss the gorgeousness of our sultry tones.
You think we sound desperate? I'm going to tell you right now that we don't sound desperate. Do you know why, Alan?
Tell me why.
Tell me why, John. I'm going to tell you why, because we have over 2,000 downloads on our podcast. Over 2,000 downloads. Come on. I mean, that's pretty good, right? That may be a drop in the ocean to some people. Well, I'm pretty happy with it. Are you happy with it? I'm happy with it.
I am. Yeah. I mean, what 900 are from you. Probably about 800 are from me.
I'd say it's close to 1,800. But, you know, at least I know there's 200. There's 200 genuine people out there that are interested. No, really, they're not, because that's
Thank you very much, everybody.
Actually, that's something that wrecks my head. There we go. And I hadn't even anticipated talking about this, but the whole monitoring your stream/download/plays on a podcast is not as easy as it should be. And I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to leave it at that.
The first world problem.
It's a first world problem. That's the thing. There's a lot more going on. So we're going to kick the show off, and we're going to talk about a few things that are wrecking our heads, and then we're going to talk about some stuff that's wrecking your heads, because believe it or not, we have even more mails in from people who are telling us the stuff that's wrecking their heads. So we're going to delve in a little bit. We've obviously chosen from a plethora of emails that have been sent in. We've chosen the best and possibly the funniest, or the ones that we can make the best story from. But
the ones that I think we are very much relate to, I think, as well.
Yeah, and the ones that we can actually talk about.
Yeah.
You know, if you're talking about something that we don't know about, we're not going to say it, because
like those emails we got going.
That's work, right?
Yeah. Your podcast wrecks my head. Thanks for that. Like, we're not going to talk about that.
Well, to be fair, it wrecks my head as well sometimes, because at the moment all it's doing is costing me money. But that's fine. That's fine. I'm happy with that. And the first thing, and it's on. Here's a word you're never going to hear me say until now, is it's on fleek with what's happening in Wexford right now. So right now is the Wexford Opera Festival. I'm sure you've heard about it, Alan, up in the Big Smoke in Dublin, right?
I have been in that exact building. The Wexford Opera House, is that what it's called?
The Opera House, yeah.
Yeah, I've been in that building.
It's international now. It's on the world stage. Everyone knows about it right now. But the one thing, and it's not a comment on opera or anything like that, I just don't understand what a composer does, right? And I've Googled this, and I still cannot get to the bottom of it, because said
the guy who does the triangle.
The guy that has who's doing the Harry Potter spells.
Is that a composer?
It is, isn't it? No. Yeah, it is. That's no.
The instrument guy. No, composer doesn't be right something.
It's not instrument.
No, construct something.
Oh, shit, this is not a good. It is the composer. Yeah, it's the composer. The guy who waves the wand. That's the composer. No, that's not the composer.
That's Harry Potter.
That's not the composer.
Opera Splendiferous.
No, it's the
wand guy.
The conductor.
Yeah,
the train conductor. Right.
Yeah, conductor.
So this is a bad start. I've destroyed any faith.
I'm sure plenty of people were going, conductor.
Yeah, it's the conductor.
Sorry.
Right. So I don't understand it. So I've worked in the music industry, right? And I'm passionate about music. I love music. I don't work in the industry anymore. I understand sheet music, as in people playing sheet music. It's not bad. Sheet music, I get it. I know why people have to read sheet music, but I don't understand the conductor, because when the orchestra are playing, they're reading the sheet music. They're not watching him. So what is the point of him? Because there's usually a drummer or someone playing a percussion, keeping the rhythm and the time. So I Googled it, and I can't get to the bottom of the answer. It's really wrecking my head. I'm like, I don't get it. Oh, here we go. Here's
from all the
John. I don't
conductors.
get it. I don't. It's my line now at this stage. I don't get it.
From all the conductors I know, they're all on buses. But music
Oh
conductors, from what that was a
Jesus!
terrible joke.
No,
I
that
know
was
that is
absolutely.
terrible.
I want to cut it, but I can't because I talked over
No.
it.
My understanding is, and you kind of said what they do is they keep pace of each of the various different instrument sections, but also they maintain volume.
But is
So
that
as
not
they
what
do
the
their verse,
sheet music does, though? The
the sheet
sheet
music tells you what
tells the
note to play.
tempo. Then it tells the tempo. It tells the note. It tells when you
Yeah,
to come in. But
but a
they're
lot of
reading
musicians
the
can't
sheet
keep tempo.
music, so it's they're like the orchestra are reading the sheet music. So how can
But
they
it might be a case
watch
of
him?
right. Yeah, well, yeah. Maybe up
Well,
means louder. I don't know.
okay. Well, maybe up means louder.
I don't
Okay.
know.
Well, on another note, and I hadn't thought about this, it's kind of sprung to mind now. So, okay, so if the conductor, right? So we've verified the conductor is valid. So why does the orchestra need the sheet music? So what other band plays with sheet music? Like I've gone to hundreds of
Yeah, good point.
concerts.
Good point.
Why does it have sheet music? Surely if you're playing Claire de Lune by Debussy or fucking Sonata, Moonlight Sonata by Beethoven or whoever that is, surely you know it at that stage. I'm not being critical of it, but and I'm not being critical
Yeah,
of
good point.
people that do it, but why do they need the sheet music every time if that's all they do and they know the songs? Is it not a bit odd? No, I'm
Yeah, yeah. Maybe it's like, I mean, I know you'll hate me for this, but if you look at the sports knowledge, why do teams have managers? The players know what they need to do. Manager goes, run faster. I know. I'm trying to get where I need to. You know, I don't know. Maybe it just
Yeah,
keeps
no, yeah, but
everyone in
what
check.
if he gave them all a little A4
Uh,
piece of paper and they had to run around reading from that?
But
That
that's
wouldn't
what they
make
do.
sense.
That's your tactics. That's your tactics, and they learn the tactics every game.
No,
I
your
don't
answer is.
know.
I'm going to call it straight. Your answer has annoyed me. It hasn't satisfied me in any way. I'm going to tell it. Right. So no, you haven't confirmed the reason for a
Yeah, I
conductor
don't
or
know.
sheet music. So I think we're going to have to come back to this one, and I'm going to have to research more. I did try and research it because I said to myself, right, if you're going to bring up something like this, you need to look at
That's
it.
because you're looking for a composer. That's why you didn't find anything.
Yeah. What's the point of a composer? Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, that's what wrecked my head this week because I was thinking about it a lot with the Wexford Opera Festival kicking off and all that kind of thing. And I was because they had live music with the fireworks, and I was like,
Oh, lovely.
why does someone need to shake a wand? I don't
Is
understand.
it what called a wand or is it called a stick? Should
I
there's an actual name
There
for it. I
we
don't know
go.
about the wand.
I don't know. You see, this is the thing, right? So I'm
I'm
always
gonna
kind of going,
Google it.
let's Google these things while we're recording. But then I'm like, oh, it's going to take too long, and you're going to fall in the rabbit hole of Googling, and I don't want to do that. So if you're going to Google it, tell me what
it's
the stick is called. It's
a
called.
conductor's baton.
That's boring. I wanted it to be called
A
something cool.
baton.
No, I wanted it to be called
A baton.
like a conductor's Jimmy Dogger or something. I don't know.
Maybe if it was in Australia. Ah, no, I
Yeah,
dropped my Jimmy
yeah.
Dodger. My Jammy Dodger.
But that's that kind of has been on my mind a little bit this week. Yeah, what's been on your mind? We haven't gotten to the bottom of it, so it's actually still wrecking my head. And we're going to address this again. And I am sorry, and I feel like I need to apologize for bringing up subjects that we've addressed a few times, namely the plastic in the world issue. Not bringing it up in this episode, apart from just there. That's it. Don't even talk about it. Tell me what's been wrecking your head.
Well, I was just going to say, conductors act as guides to orchestras requires they conduct. They choose the works to be performed and study their scores, to which they make certain adjustments, such as in tempo, articulation, phrasing, repetition of sections. Work at their interpretation, but they should know. The musicians should know it, and that's the point you're making.
That's
Yeah, I
my
get that.
point because I Google it
Yeah, I
and it
get
still
that.
doesn't tell me the
I get
reason
that.
for them. And I understand it.
Anyway,
Obviously,
yeah.
there is a necessity. I just want someone to explain it to me.
So
Anyway,
any of our conductor listeners want to email
take a
us in?
breath. Take a breath, John, and move on to Alan's
So, yeah.
problem that's
So
been
what's
wrecking his
been
head. Let's go.
wrecking my head, and it's happened today and happens a regular thing, and it's the inability or ability for microwaves to not heat up my food but heat up the plate. Yeah.
That's so much better than my one.
Yeah.
We should have.
Mine's a
We should
real
have
world
started with
problem.
that one.
Yours is a highbrow. Oh, when I was having my
I
caviar
know.
and
Yeah,
salmon down,
Ooh,
and you know,
the
yeah.
opera.
The conductor annoyed me. He was wearing his Van Gogh backwards. I don't know, whatever. It's a painting. I know. Yeah. So I
okay.
cook food,
So
right?
first
And
of
it
all, you
says
need
two
to
and a
make
half
sure you
minutes.
have food on the plate.
Well,
So,
obviously, yeah, I obviously
right.
do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it says 2.5 minutes, which means like 4 minutes normally. So I put at the very edge
That's
of
what
the
she
microwave
said.
on the she wished for 4 minutes. It goes on the outside of the plate, or so it turns around. That's what you're meant to do. But then I microwave it and I take it and I'm going, why is it still cold? And I go, I put it in for another 2 minutes. So it ends up being microwaved for about 14 hours. And it comes out and it's still cold and the plate is hotter than the center of the sun. And then I have to get a towel or 15 tissues to hold the tray. And I realize now if I wait long enough, my plate heats up the food, not the microwave.
Yeah. Microwaves can be hit and miss. So you buy yourself a curry and it says 5 minutes in a 750-watt oven. I don't know what my microwave is. I haven't a clue. So if it says 5 minutes at the lowest level, I'm putting it in for 7 or 8.
Oh yeah, I put it in, and halfway
100%.
through, I give it a bit of a stir, going, sure, that'll help it cook a little bit better.
Yeah.
And then another 4 minutes goes by, and then like, oh yeah. Or what happens to me as well is when it's a longer microwaving dish, is I put it in. I need to be careful how I phrase this. I put it in, I turn it on, I walk away, and then about half hour later, I go, why am I so hungry?
Right there.
And yeah. I go half hour later, I'm going, why am I so hungry? And I'm, I never ate it. I forgot I put it in the microwave.
Well, there's your problem right there. But you've actually brought up an interesting point that, so I don't know why stuff. I know the radiation from a microwave, whatever it is, points to the middle. But when you peel off this, the plastic seal off the top, and it's supposed to rip off, and it doesn't. It's just the edge that rips off. It's like, fucking hell. Right. So there's two issues. Right now, the plastic isn't peeling off. So I'm going to scald my fingers, pulling it off. And I've littered it with holes.
Full of steam.
Yeah.
Steamed fingered.
Yeah. So it's gonna go everywhere. And I've littered it with holes, as you're supposed to do. So when I do rip it into the center, it's not gonna fucking rip properly, and it's gonna go everywhere.
But there is a certain level of satisfaction stabbing your curry viciously for 2 minutes and going, take that.
When it's curry. So when it's frozen before you cook it. But okay, so here's a good question, and this is something that I've toyed with for a while when cooking a microwave curry, for example.
So, heating in the microwave. Don't say cooking. Don't glamorize you with your conductor microwave.
Defrosting and cooking mildly. So when you stab it in with the fork, whatever, and you're kind of going, all right, it's obviously uncooked. Whatever that tip of the fork has touched is uncooked in that package, when it goes through the plastic. I put that fork in the sink and get a new fork. Sure. Do you do that as well? Or do you kind of go, well, it doesn't matter, I'll use the same fork?
Matter.
Really? You use, so you're not like going, oh, this chicken is not cooked, I've punched the holes and I'll use that fork again.
I'll rinse it under hot top very quickly.
Yeah, I think that explains a lot of your toilet issues, if I'm honest. I mean, I think we've gotten to the root cause of it.
I mean, realistically, it's in case there's something bacteria on the chicken. So you'd want to be seriously unlucky that the bit of your fork managed to take up enough of the dodgy bit of the chicken to make you sick. And it's only a minuscule amount as well anyway. But I would just rinse it under hot tap. And then it is normally fine. But in terms of peeling off the plastic, there's nothing worse. You're trying to peel off the plastic, and then half the plastic is left, and then you're trying to peel it off, and then you have to get, and then you have to get a scissors or a knife, and then you're trying to cut around the edge of it, and then you're like, oh my god,
it's a fucking pain in the hole. Isn't it? Right.
It's a qualification needed.
Okay, so right, let me get this straight. So the first thing, composers don't understand it. Second thing, sheet music don't understand it. Conductors, yes, and composers. Right, and heating food in microwave. So we don't understand, why does it not heat all over? It just
I do understand the reasons,
and we don't understand why the plastic never peels off.
Yeah. the reason why in a microwave is microwave waves only transmit a certain distance within a microwave. So, and that's why they normally say is you make a hole in the middle and push to the edge. That's what you're meant to do.
Yeah. And for anyone who tuned out there, you missed our sponsor, Beco microwaves. We cook
but
from
and
the
also there are
out.
plenty of other microwave
if you want to sponsor us,
make sure your microwave heats my food. That's my only condition of owning a microwave.
It's amazing the stuff like so obviously, right, I know we're recording this, at some stage during the week, so as the week goes by and I'm thinking of stuff to say, it's always on my mind of like, oh, would that be a good thing to bring up, on the podcast or whatever. It's just amazing how different our stuff is. And that actually, I love that. It fascinates me so much with what we're going to actually talk about. But we did have an email in, and I'm bringing it up here now. You can probably hear the clicks. So, right, this was a funny one, or at least I thought it was. So the title of this email that came in from Connor, and it was it just says Connor and Wexford, was lettuce, right? And all this email said, which leaves so much room to chat.
Absolutely.
Was, how did lettuce become so big? It's fucking rotten. And I think that's a fair point, right? How did lettuce become so big? Because I don't know.
Rabbits.
Lettuce is not nice. Is it just me? Like,
well, there's different types of lettuce. In fairness,
it tastes like gone off soil and grass. Like, I would rather eat grass. Grass tastes lovely. Grass tastes really nice.
Do you still have your appendix? Because if you don't, you can't eat grass, apparently.
Really?
That may have been a rumor from the 80s. Yeah, I always remember the whole point of your appendix was to help digest grass.
So are you telling me that one of the main reasons to keep your diet really clean was if you lose your appendix, you can't eat grass?
Just eat McDonald's.
Who the fuck eats grass? But I would grass to me has more flavor. How is the likes of...
I like lettuce. It can make it, especially a bit of a crunch, a bit of a wet lettuce and a bit of a crunch. But it can be tasty.
But there's no taste to it. And in a sandwich, it just moistens everything and makes everything soggy.
The moist maker.
Ridiculous. I don't understand lettuce. I would rather have...
What about cucumber?
Yeah, I like cucumber. It has a taste, right? So cucumber and watermelon apparently are from the same family.
If you put something like sugar on a cucumber,
it tastes like a watermelon. Yeah, I've never tried that. Sugar on a cucumber is supposed to taste like watermelon. And
I would just buy a watermelon.
Yeah, cucumber, and apparently if you piss on a watermelon, it's supposed to be manky. But I haven't tried either of those.
If you shove a cucumber up your hoo-ha as well, it's meant to be quite different as well.
Yeah, no, I haven't been there. But I don't understand lettuce, and it's a good point. Was it Connor in Wexford? So it does, but lettuce tastes rotten. It does. Do you ever
like lettuce
on its own?
Yeah, I like lettuce.
I like lettuce. Iceberg needs to get over itself, right?
Like iceberg lettuce sounds much more fancier than what it is. Like, this has been farmed on the Isles of Iceland.
No, it hasn't. It's been grown in water, cascades, and the water techniques of how they grow vegetables nowadays, and it tastes like... People say it tastes like crunchy water. I think it tastes like crunchy sewage water. Okay. And
but is there a boil notice out by you though?
Listen, Wexford's very bad for boil notices. I'm going to tell you, every time it rains, there's a boil notice, or the pressure.
That's just for the people, though. That's just for the people.
Like, boil yourself, you're rotten.
Yeah. The water came off you. You've flooded the area with your pestilence and your grossness.
But okay, so you disagree with this then? So you like...
I like lettuce. Yeah. Like a prime example, I got a burrito from a chain of burrito restaurants, and I forgot to put lettuce in it.
Very politically correct there.
Well, it's free advertising.
Yeah. It's not. We don't have the listenership for that. Don't oversell it.
Well, I must say, I get really confused things where the name of this place comes from is the name of a chemical reaction that takes place between two atoms, I think it is. So there you go. There's that. That's
Abracadabra.
That's what the conductor does.
Abracadabra.
Anyway, that's kebabs. It's not called abracaburrito.
Yeah.
Anyway, I did get lettuce in it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I was missing, but also I did forget to get salsa in it. I was like halfway home and I was like, oh, for God's sake. And I ruined it. And that's something else that actually wrecks my head. When you get a takeaway or go to a drive-thru and you get home, it's missing something. You're like, for God's sake.
All the time with the McDonald's drive-thru, something is not there.
It's always the sauce for your chicken nuggets.
No, for me, it's been either. Now, to be fair, it's probably my fault because you know the way they give you the drink first and then they bring out the dish. Yeah, so straws. I've gone off without the drink and been home with, where's the fucking milkshake? All right,
it's on the roof of your car.
Yeah, that is head wrecking. But look, lettuce, I don't get it, and I don't get a thick tomato.
Let us know what you think.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I've been waiting for that for about 5 minutes. I thought I'd just leave it there.
That comment is going to go down like the Titanic hitting an iceberg.
I see what you did there. With your crunchy water.
Yeah, I don't get it. No, lettuce. I think lettuce has been given more credit than what it has been, or should have been. But I did like Connor in Wexford. If you're listening, which you may be when this goes out, thank you. That made sense. Lettuce.
Yeah,
I'll say what he said again. How did it become so big? It's fucking rotten. I agree with you on that. You've earned 50% of a thumbs up here from me, Alan.
I don't know what you're going to say. A thumbs up where?
Yeah. Right, Alan. Your turn on the next one. Go on. You can.
So I'm having a look at this email there. It is from Kira. That's a nice Irish name, Kira. Kira and Connor. I just 2 C's.
Yeah.
Maybe you have the emails.
Do I have them? I might have them alphabetical. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, the next person.
It doesn't go past C. There's Aaron, Barry, and Kira and Connor. That's it.
You need to buy more email storage.
Yeah, I know. Right, go on.
Full after 5 emails. It doesn't say where Kira's from, but all you just said is when you're walking along the street and someone either stops in front of you or is just a slow walker.
Yeah, or when you're going through a door. That's a good one, Kira.
Oh,
when you're going through a door.
For me, yeah.
You know, people are on their phone. They're on their phone and they're like, we all stop on our phone reading something because you kind of have to concentrate and you stop. But
we can multitask.
Don't stop in the fucking doorway.
Yeah. The problem I have is when I'm moving along an escalator and the people stop at the end of an escalator going, where are we going to go now? And it's like the slowest like Sir Lancelot, the slowest. I'm just getting closer and closer towards him going, I can't go anywhere when I get to the end of this escalator. Yeah. So one of two things is going to happen is we're all going to crush together at the very, very bottom of it. Or I'm going to have to jump over the edge of the escalator. Now, I know which one is my preference. And they always stop with a trolley. And they're like going...
Oh, I was just about to say the trolley.
Was it a trolley?
Even an older person with a trolley. Nothing against older people. But when the trolley does that auto brake thing, and they can't move the trolley left or right or out of the way, so you have to stand behind them, which is fine.
That's fine.
But you're like, what's going to happen when it comes to the end? What's going to happen when it comes to the end? Is it going to be... Oh, I love that moment. It's exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time. But yes, sorry, Kira, we're stepping aside. That's probably head-wrecking for her is when people don't answer what.
Like the slow walkers, like especially if you're walking down. Like I don't go into the city centre here in Dublin that often, but when I do, and we're going a bit of shopping and walking along, and people you're like, get out of the way. Especially if you're on. For me, if I'm on my lunch break, I'm going for a wander because I work in the city centre. And I'm trying to get somewhere, and people are just like having the time of their lives, walking really, really slowly. And I'm like, get out of my fucking way.
There's so many people. See, that's the thing. Like, so I'll tell you now. So I know I've said it before. I don't live in Dublin anymore. I live in Wexford, and it's obviously a lot smaller than Dublin. So I don't have that issue as much because, you know, there's just so many people in Dublin and it's so annoying, especially at lunchtime, that rush hour when everyone's bombing out to get to the Spar for the ham and cheese roll or whatever the hell. So it's riddled with
spicy
people.
chicken filter roll, ham and cheese,
or whatever it is, whatever
with extra lettuce.
Yeah.
For an extra crunch.
But that's the thing. Like, it's not as bad down here, but I know it is so annoying. We're like, just get out of the way, just move on. But I have to say, right? But touching on that, Kira, with your attitude, I'm guessing that she's in a big city, because since I moved to a smaller town, although Wexford is not that small anymore, but it's certainly smaller than Dublin, smaller town, I have learned to be more patient and go at the pace of a smaller town. It's actually way nicer and a lot stress free.
Sure.
So in your face. That's all I have to say about
So
that.
basically, what you're saying is you're the slow walker. When you come up on December 8th to do your shopping.
I'm becoming accustomed to this slow mentality of Wexford. Little do I know, everyone's behind me and going, get the fuck out of the
You're
way.
walking around Dundrum Shopping Centre going, oh my God, they have 2 shoe shops.
Well,
two of them. Why would you need two shops?
One for the left and one for the right, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it'll be interesting, because next week I will be heading up to the big smoke of Dublin for a day visit with the family. So it'll be interesting to see how I fare, and I might comment on it next week. Yeah, no, I look forward to it and see what driving around it is like, because I haven't driven around it in a while. So I look forward to seeing what it's like.
I would say traffic now and business is twice as much as what it was a year ago, easily. Like, I was up in Belfast this week. It nearly takes me the same amount of time to get to Belfast as it does to travel 13 kilometers through Dublin.
That's insane. But is Belfast then as bad? Now, I've always had a weird relationship with Belfast, because it only does oral, and that's not enough. No, I'm kidding. No, I've always had a weird relationship with Belfast, because for me, I've always found it odd to drive around, because it's like this dead center is new, but everything around the circle of around Belfast hasn't developed as quickly as the center. So
it's like reverse Wexford.
It's reverse Wexford. That's exactly. I actually think that's what the tourism slogan is for the summer is come to Wexford.
It's backwards. Belfast. It's reversed. Yeah. No, that would be great. This is where the Titanic sinks icebergs.
Oh my God, we've related back. What a segue. Wow.
I tell you what.
We've mentioned segues a few times, but that was a segue and a half. A segue, yeah. You looked it up how to spell it? Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? People are like, what the fuck's that? I've put it in PowerPoints before, and people have been like, whatever. So I do. Yeah. I'm the same as you.
This is my segue.
We have similar jobs in ways where we do a lot of talks in front of people and do a lot of PowerPoints and blah blah blah. And it's
mine is normally who are you and how did you get in my room?
You what?
Normally it's who are you and how did you get in my room? And have to kind of talk.
You don't need a PowerPoint for that, or do you?
Let me give you these 12 bullet points as to why I am in your house. Number 1, I've heard you have great lettuce.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Shut up about the lettuce, will you? It breaks my head.
I have the lettuce at go.
I'm trying to. There's another email. Yeah, this is a good one, right? So there's no name on this, and I'm not reading the email address because it's a weird one, and I think it's a work.
And also, you don't want to give out someone's email address.
It has
getting spammed and sign up for Viagra.
No, but it has at the whatever.com business, so I'm not reading it out because that wouldn't be fair. So no, I can't do that. So
at onlyfans.com.
Yeah, I wish. People in the corner of Insta post just watching the post and then pointing when it gets to the main point. Why? Question mark.
Oh,
I get it. So you're in the bottom and it's like you're nodding the whole way through. Someone's saying a poignant point, something that matters a lot. Then it's like, oh, I got to the point. I'm going to shake my finger and point and go, yes. Do you see that I get this along with you? Get the fuck out of the video. I absolutely get this. It's like
you just post the original video.
Absolutely, and comment, or maybe at the end you can do like a pop your face in then and go, I agree with this or whatever. I don't need you, a randomer, to tell me about another randomer who said a good point that we all agree with. Shut.
It's just for their likes. just for their likes and
Yeah,
their
but
shares.
I don't get it. But their picture or video or whatever is taken up more than what the
Yeah,
actual
yeah,
video is.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
are we craving fame that much? I mean, I suppose people could argue, and they
yeah,
probably
yeah,
will
yeah.
email in that we're craving fame by doing this, but I'm actually doing this from a mental health point of view. I think more than anything at this stage, I'm not craving fame whatsoever. But is it craving fame? What is it?
I think so. I think it's also just idiots.
Fair enough. Maybe they don't know how to use Instagram.
Yeah, maybe they're trying to type in conductor and going, "What am I doing in front of this video?" All of a sudden, and they don't know how did I get
Maybe
here.
it is. Maybe look, I was on a Zoom call the other day in work. Yesterday was it yesterday? I don't know. The week is a blur at this stage, and I did quotation marks, bunny ears with my fingers, and I don't know how it did this, but it set off confetti on my screen, right? And this is
I'm
the
trying
odd
it here.
thing.
It's not
Yeah,
working.
no. The funny thing is, this was Google Meet, and I've never used that for a meeting
Oh,
before, but I
okay.
had to use it this time. So I was like, have they got stuff integrated where if you do bunny ears, it'll do these
Confetti.
random
Maybe
confetti,
thought you were
whatever.
going. Maybe thought you were
Yeah, well,
cheering.
but so I tried it. So
Just
the
so
meeting
just so people
stopped.
know, myself and John are currently like whoop
We are
whoop with our
we're
hands
like
up in the
raising the
air.
roof with our hands.
Not a
So
single
try
drop
it
of
at home.
confetti anywhere.
Yeah, try it at home. Tell me, like this bunny ears thing on Google Meet. I mean, who uses Google Meet? It's the first time I've ever done it.
It used to be called
But
Duo or something like that, wasn't it?
was it? I don't know. I don't
I
know.
remember myself, yourself, and a mutual friend. We set up a group on that. I mean, like we're going to chat on this all the time. No, we didn't.
No,
We just send each other, we
no,
just send each other dick pics and
like
fart sounds.
yeah, and that is the funny thing about Google is they have created and killed so many apps and ideas and projects, which is actually really crazy when you think of it. For one of the biggest
I
tech giants in the world, they have so many fails, which I just think is hilarious. That
it's
I'm there's a website dedicated to it. I can't remember what it's called, but you can go onto this website and see every single project that they've created that's been killed or failed, and it's a surprising amount. And there's ones there you're like, wow, you've recently had one with Stadia. You signed up to
oh
Google
yeah, yeah,
Stadia. Yeah.
yeah,
That was an
yeah.
absolute catastrophic failure. Yeah.
But the thing
There you
is, I
go.
think a lot of the apps and technology they've come out with, and maybe it's just at the wrong time. They release this stuff, and then
Or
5 or 6
maybe
years
it's just
later,
a
other companies come
test.
along.
Maybe they're so big that they can do a test at that
Yeah,
kind of
maybe
a level where they've got the money and go, let's see if this works. But if it doesn't, we can use the tech for something else.
maybe
We're
they
the
just Google
fools.
it. They just Google it.
Oh, Alan,
How to
really?
launch an app.
Oh, I don't know what to do with you anymore. Yes, but people in the corner of Instapost just watching the post and then pointing when it gets to the main point. Why?
And normally has that
Create
stupid
your own.
laugh over going.
Oh, that as well. Yeah, that
I'm like,
laugh. I don't know
oh.
what the original of that laugh is. I don't even have to explain. We all know what that laugh is. It's like, fuck off.
It's like
I don't
Muttley.
need you to tell me that it's like a laughing track in a comedy. I know what's funny. Or at least if I watch a comedy on Netflix and the laughing track comes in, I know that's the point of laughing, but the laughing from the start to the end of the video, that I don't need.
And it's normally
That's
somebody
head
being like
wrecking.
shot in the leg and like, oh, no, that wasn't funny.
No, well, it can be sometimes. See, that's why you need
Yeah.
a laugh track.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I meant to laugh at this.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. And we hope that you laugh at the stuff that we said. I'm trying to look for another email. Do you have one,
Go,
Alan?
something for myself,
Okay,
just to
go.
be
Yes,
just
go, go.
just to be
Yep.
narcissistic. So this is a topic that I asked you about recently. When I pull up to the petrol station to get my desired fuel of my choice, whether that diesel or petrol.
What an odd way to say it.
I know, yeah. I said it purposely.
Desired
I said
fuel
it
of
purposely.
choice. You're either getting one, like how
Exactly.
you know
There's
what you're
two different
getting,
types of
Alan.
diesel now. There's two types of diesel. So I pull up, I pull up and somebody fills up, it's really busy. Somebody fills up the car and then goes in to the petrol station. They're parked at the petrol pump. It's a huge queue. And then they go and do like a week shopping in the petrol station. You're like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And I get it if they've gone in, if they've topped up with petrol first but I cannot stand it when they don't top up a petrol. They're using it as a parking,
as a parking spot. Yeah,
to go in to get their
level.
breakfast roll in the morning and whatever else. It's like, no, that's what the parking spot over there is for. Get out of the petrol lane. Absolutely head wrecking.
The petrol lane.
Petrol lane,
petrol lane. Yeah, I think to add to that as well, as this is another contentious issue. It's related because I saw it yesterday as well, as same as the parent and child parking in places like Tesco. The people who kind of pull up, just get out with no child. I'm like going, did you forget something? And some people just do it.
That is another one. So I worked with someone a couple of years ago who did not give a shit. And this person always said, no, I'll park there. I don't care. Why should parent and kids get specific parking? And I said, well, okay, you're not, that this person was not a parent. Sure. So they didn't get it. And I was like, yeah, but it's easy for us as a parent if you have a baby at pram, blah, 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 blah. But I mean, I kind of get the argument in a way as well. But then, I moved the conversation on to disability parking. So I said, what about disability parking? Do you think they should, would you park in their spots? And this person said, yeah, I would too, because they're some of the best parking spots in the car park.
Wow.
My jaw dropped. But I also agreed they are the best. But there's a reason.
For logical reasons.
Absolutely, yes.
Same as the parent and child parking. The reason being is because you don't want kids running across full car parks.
Yeah, that's why and plus they're usually and you have to open your door. Because you're opening the door, you're taking out prams or whatever, and the last thing I want is to park next and get my car dinged.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
As always, Alan, look, I do need to say you've been amazing. My head has been wrecked, and it is even more wrecked because we have failed to, let's acknowledge what we talked about here today. Conductors,
microwaving lettuces in the conductors,
lettuce, car parking spots. What else? My head isn't. We have so many things. This is the thing, right? This is what's starting to wreck my head about this podcast. Is it's leaving me with more to do homework wise after the fact that I have to Google to find out how my head becomes unwrecked, and that's where we're going to leave it. So my head is completely wrecked still. So I look forward to the next one. Yes, don't forget to follow us. Don't forget to email us in your stuff, thelads@headwreck.com, and on the socials
head_rect.
Yes, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. And thank you for the 2,000 plus downloads / streams. We love you. Amazing. Thank you. You've been amazing. Goodbye. Bye. 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 Love you. Bye. 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 Bye.